And then David, if you can unmute yourself. Okay, guys, we're going to go ahead and get started. I am Maggie Sanchez, your chair for the Education Committee. I want to thank especially Tricia for setting this up together with David Unger. David Unger has a martial arts school there in Exeter, California. Go ahead. Is someone talking? Did I not mute everyone? I don't know. Anyway, sorry about that. And I want to thank you, David, for taking the time out of your busy schedule to teach us this self-defense class. As you guys know, the month of September is Safety Month. So we are very excited to have you. I know we've had you in the past live, but this time, due to COVID and quarantine, we're going to have you via Zoom. So I'll go ahead and let you take over. I'll go ahead and mute myself, and the floor is yours.
Awesome. Well, thanks, guys, for having me. I'll just kind of let you know who I am for anyone who hasn't met me at these safety events before. I think this is my third one with you guys, and did one at your place, and then one at my place, and now one no place online. So that's cool. 3 different ways. So I've been training in martial arts since I was a little kid, but since I've become an instructor, I've been doing this full time for about 5 years now, but I've been teaching for, since I was probably 16. I've been doing that kind of as my profession. I've been, the computer might be waking up. Awesome. So I'll keep talking, and I'll try to get logged in here on the real Zoom. Oh, that'd be so much better. So I've been doing this for a long time. I've done a lot of safety and self-defense things for Bible study groups to realtor safety. I've done some stuff with law enforcement and a lot of families and kids, private lessons. So I've done a lot of safety and self-defense things in a lot of different formats. And it's something that I really like to take part in with people in the community. And I've done school talks. And 1 second, let me put in my password here. It looks like my computer is alive. That is awesome, because this thing was not cheap. Let's just jump right in. While I'm talking, I'm gonna get this pulled up on my computer in the background. So kind of bear with my shifting eyes. So first thing, and I've been talking with other realtors in the community before this event and in years past. I know more and more realtors utilize this, but it's something called a client ID form. And I know you can download these from different websites. I think it's NAR.com. It's like North American Realtors Association, I think. I'm still pulling up my all the stuff that I had written down. So I've got all that information on there for you when I'm able to screen share. But so client ID form. It's basically just you have the client come to your office first, because I know after talking with a lot of you guys over the years that sometimes you'll just kind of get a phone call and, my name is Steve and I'm right over here near this house and I see it's for sale. And I'm right here in the neighborhood. Could I have someone come and meet me out there quick? And realtors being in the sales business, sometimes if you're in the area and you can meet out there real quick, so there may not be a whole lot of introduction time in between meetings. So, excuse me, and this is where the client ID form really comes into play. So this is, okay, I'd love to show you the property, but for your safety, for my safety, let me have you meet me at the office. While you're there, you give them this form, they fill it out. It's just some basic contact information. While you're there, or while the prospective client is there, it's a good idea to get a photocopy of their ID. So now just jumping through some of those safety hoops, if this is we'll just call him bad guy. If this is a bad person, a predator, someone who's trying to either robbery or whatever else, this step is going to eliminate a whole bunch of those people. Is it going to eliminate every potential threat? Absolutely not. But the average person who is trying to make a quick few bucks and just rob somebody, or something else, a kidnapping, an assault, a sexual assault, something of a more serious nature like that, this is going to eliminate a lot of those potential people. Again, not all of them, but it can potentially decrease the likelihood of this happening, because now you have copy of a driver's license. They've filled out information. They've maybe met some people in the office while they're there at the office. Oh, hey, Steve, nice to meet you. Hey, this is my boss, Janice, over here. Hi, Janice, meet Steve. And all of that interaction, now more people have a face, more people have information and stuff like that. And as always, if you're going to have photocopies of people's ID, once they're no longer a client or a prospective client, shred it, burn it, whatever you're going to do, make sure you get rid of that personal information. So that's the client ID form. I know that most of the realtors I've talked to are now using stuff like that, but there's still some of them who don't do that, and they'll take those last minute calls. Well, okay, I'm kind of in a rush, but I happen to be in the neighborhood, so I'll meet you out there, no problem. So things like that may still come up, and that's up to you and your firm or whatever to kind of decide what you're going to do in those last minute circumstances. And some of the other safety stuff that we'll cover might help out with some of those things. Let me, yay, I'm getting my the good computer up and running finally, so I can do a screen share real quick. Okay, so then after the client safety form, now you have a better idea of who you're actually dealing with, instead of just a faceless person that you talked with. Or maybe, I know more and more business, including me signing up people to take karate classes. A lot of business is done through text. So I have a phone number, but some people have multiple numbers. So just, oh, well, I texted with them, so therefore I know who they are. I really don't. There's no name, there's no face, there's no voice, there's no personal exchange yet. It's just a text. So that client ID form will help with a lot of that what if kind of stuff. Next thing, let people know who you're with. Have some kind of a check-in and check-out board, or a chart somewhere in your office, or if you have an app or a program installed on the main computer at the check-in or entrance of your building where the secretary sits or whatever. Have some kind of a check-in, check-out board, just so that you kind of know who's coming and who's going. Again, I know a lot of you guys, you might leave the office and then you may not come back till the evening time, because you're showing this house and then lunch meeting with this client and closing paperwork here, and you're back and forth all day. So your coworkers may have they know that you're out showing houses, but which house, what time, which client was it with? Are you done with the meeting, or are you on to the next thing? So have some kind of a check-in, check-out system in place, paper, app, program, whatever it is, so that your coworkers kind of know who's coming and who's going. So that's a good tip for everybody. Next one, if you're able, arrive early to set up. If you're going to do an open house, obviously you're going to be there before to set up, but we're talking more meeting clients that maybe you don't know. So if you're able, arrive a few minutes early and set up. Setting up, this means opening up blinds. I know, man, when I bought my house, there was some houses where there might be like boards up on the window. If the house has been sitting for a while, maybe there's a damaged window, so there's a board up. So these are things to be aware of. If I go in this back bedroom, I know ahead of time that window is broken. So how much time should you spend in that boarded up windowed room with a client that you potentially don't know? So as you're going around a few minutes early, open up blinds, make sure doors are unlocked. Go to the sliding door, unlock that, check it, make sure you can pull that open really easy. Make sure side entrances are unlocked so that in a emergency type situation, you have quick access out of the building. And you doing your pre-walkthrough, now you know, okay, I know that the back door, the side door, the sliding door, the patio door, the front door, you know where everything is, and you know what's locked and what's unlocked. So that's part of your preparation and getting set up, is knowing ways in and out of the building as quick as you possibly can. Fourth thing, and this one, and I've talked to realtors. I have a couple realtors who are trained with me currently, and they've asked about this one in particular. And I think this is a great idea. Get to know the neighbors. If I put my little shingle outside, this, David Unger is selling this house, call me at this number, and I know that I'm going to be going to that property maybe multiple times to show it to multiple people. Go next door, or if you see the lady next door unloading her groceries, or the guy next door mowing the grass. Hey, how's it going? I'm David Unger. Nice to meet you. Hey, I'm selling this house. I just wanted to come over, meet you, say hi, get to know you for 2-3 minutes, and just let them know I'm going to be in and out of this house maybe over the next couple weeks. And I just wanted to touch bases with you for my own safety. And what neighbor is going to go, oh, that sounds terrible, please stop talking to me? They're going to go, wow, that's a good idea. Hey, nice to meet you. Now they recognize your car. They know what thing you drive, what color it is. Maybe they're not over there writing down your license plate and stuff, but they have a good idea of when they see that car, they know that you're there at the house. Now, if they hear something, they're much more likely to respond to a sound of broken glass. If they just think, well, that house is just vacant, and you hear glass break, well, that could be a cat knock something over. It could be anything. Most people aren't going to run around and check things out. But if they know, oh, that realtor, David, that I met the other day was inside, and I heard a big loud noise and a screaming sound. Now they're much more likely to respond because now they have a face associated with the building and things like that. So that's a really good safety tip, in general, to kind of know who's coming in and out of a building. Neighbors like to know who's in their neighborhood, all that kind of stuff. Let me pull up. I think it's working. Yes, finally. So moving on to the next thing. While I'm trying to get my computer set up, this would make it so much easier. Lead from behind. And leading from behind means walk behind the client while you're through the house, instead of you turning your back. All right, so you notice over here the fireplace, and then look over here at this vaulted ceiling and all like that. Have them walk in front of you. Just kind of guide, oh yeah, and right through this way, you'll notice over there on the left, there's the master suite. Yeah, go straight down the hall so you're following from behind instead of them behind you. And a lot of the stuff I'm going over is kind of just normal self-defense stuff that people should kind of be aware of as they're going about their day, but it's kind of tweaked and tailored to your industry in particular. Aha, there's my Zoom link. Cool. So are there any questions so far? I know I'm going fast. Is everyone okay so far? I don't know, mics are muted, but people can type in if they have any questions or comments or follow-ups or anything. So if I'm going too fast, just let me know.
David, did you want us to make you a co-host? Do you want to share something on the screen or no?
I'm almost ready for the screen share. I'm going through and I'm going to click on I'm on the desktop now, and I'm going to open up the Zoom link through there.
Okay. As soon as you get that up, then I'll do it. Or you can do it, Maggie, whichever.
Okay, perfect. And hooray, there's the Zoom link. Cool. I'm coming in on the desktop right now. All right, so while that's loading, back to this. So we get to know the neighbors a little bit. So now you have a second pair or third or fourth pair of eyes on you. And again, they're not going to be their eyes. Hey, can you see me in there? Okay, good.
You're just a really loud echo.
Yeah, I exited the iPhone, so now I should just be on the
Desktop. Okay, let me make
you
you
see me there?
Yes, I see you.
Okay, cool. So next thing, so after we have a couple different sets of eyes on us, lead from behind, have them walk through there first and just kind of guide them. Notice the fireplace on the right. Now they know where you want them to look instead of you walking in front of them and they can't see you. Or you can't see them, I should say. And this is just good safety practice. So if this person is someone that I don't know and I don't trust, well, then I can, I have a little bit more visual control over what's going on. Let me click here. Okay, that's better. Now, next one. Have some kind of an out. Have an excuse to leave already planned in advance. I talk about this a lot when I do self-defense seminars. I call it the little red flag. Everyone has a little red flag in their brain, and everyone's are sort of different sensitivity levels. And by little red flag, that's the where you kind of get a weird feeling. You can't quite figure out exactly what it is, but for some reason you just don't feel comfortable. Guys have it, gals have it, kids have it, dogs have it. Everyone has some type of a red flag where you're like, something's off. This person is starting to get into my personal space. They keep getting too close. I keep backing up and they keep getting in close. We need to be careful with the little red flag because, oh good, hey, there I am. Now my head's bigger, hooray. So the little red flag, we want to listen to that. A lot of times when I talk to people on these things, they're like, well, I don't want to make a judgment about people. And if I'm feeling weird about someone, I don't want to assume that they're going to attack me and therefore be nervous or scared around that person when maybe you don't need to be. So that's a common concern with the red flag is people don't want to be too sensitive or make judgments or categorize people. And now more than ever, we're very sensitive about different things and categorizing people and things like that. But that little red flag that everyone has is heightened at different sensitivity levels because of your past experience. I know people who have very heightened, very sensitive red flags around males. I know I've had students in the past who have very sensitive red flags around males of certain builds, but not other builds because they were once attacked by male of a certain build. Some people get nervous around, you name it. So again, we don't want to make judgments about people and assume that, well, this person is kind of shaped like the guy that, attacked me 20 years ago. So therefore everyone this build is bad, or everyone who wears baggy pants is bad, or everyone who drives this is bad. But we all have that red flag, and I don't think it's healthy to turn the red flag all the way off. It's been put there for a reason. We need to listen to it. You can develop it over time and kind of know, okay, the red flag is going off, but I see what's going on. Red flag, go back down. This is nothing to freak out over. So when we're doing the red flag thing, just be aware that feeling that you guys get, and you've probably all dealt with a client at one point or another where you're just like, I don't really like this person's too close, or they're asking personal type questions. So with this red flag development,
Have some kind of pre-programmed out. Have an excuse to leave early if you need to, so that it doesn't feel like or seem to the client like you're just trying to stammer and, oh geez, I need to get out of here. So you don't want to kind of come across that way, but if you're getting vibes from this person and it's not making you feel good, that little red flag starts pinging, have your out. Hey, you know what? Like I told you before, my aunt is having her surgery in an hour. I've got to go pick her up. So you've been hanging around here for 30 extra minutes asking about my family or whatever. Time for me to go. I got to go pick up Aunt Sally. All right. Any other questions? Can I show you anything else? Okay, good. There's your excuse or whatever. Have some kind of a little memorized out where you can just politely but quickly back out without it seeming like you're freaking out or anything. And if they have more questions or whatever, they can call you at the office or text you. And now it's traceable. They've called you. Now it's stuck in your caller ID or whatever. So that's the have an out, that little pre-programmed excuse to get out quick if you need to get out. Next one, be hands-free as much as you possibly can. I bought a house, so I know all the paperwork that goes with it. I think I had carpal tunnel after I signed all those papers. So you're walking through the house like this, and you have your backpack and your briefcase and you're, oh, and look over here and look over here, and you know, sending this text back, or open house, people are calling and emailing, asking questions. If I'm so bogged down with stuff, I can't use my arms. If someone is going to attack me, I need as many limbs free as I possibly can to, one, get away, run away. And that's why you walk around beforehand and make sure blinds are open so that people can see inside. Make sure doors are unlocked or even partially open so that sound can escape and I can run out really quick. If I need to take something and throw it off the counter at this person so that I can get out quickly, my hands are free. If I've got all the stuff and the purse is over here, the backpack is over here, your hands are tied up. So it's going to take you a few seconds to shed all that stuff and react if you need to. So being hands-free. And with the hands-free thing, the center line, eyes, nose, throat, solar plexus, groin, or what's that movie? Miss Congeniality, Sing. Solar plexus, instep, nose, groin, all that stuff, all the good targets are right here in this little rectangle. From the eyes down here to the solar plexus and then the groin. So this like little skinny rectangle. That's where all the vital organs are found. Yes, there are other vital organs off to the side, but the ones with the direct access are right here. So I need to be free to cover up that center line if I need, and cover up or respond and attack out with my hands. And if I've got a whole bunch of junk in my arms, that's going to be tough to do. So hands-free is the way to be. Next one, personal safety apps. There's all kinds of free apps. There's 3 that I've heard about. And I've had a few people say that they like how these work. So I've got them here. The first one is called You're Safe. That's letter U, R, safe. You are safe, but it's all one word. Letter U, letter R, safe, all one word. The next one is called Silent Beacon, B-E-A-C-O-N. The next one is called Siren GPS, all one word, Siren GPS. And these are 3 that I've heard about from people that they've recommended. And these types of safety apps, a lot of them, they have, you can kind of set it up to have your own safe word. So if I have my phone here or it's in my pocket or something, and you know, these iPhones, your microphone is probably on all the time, even if we don't know it. But that thing's in the pocket or I've got it in my hand and the red flag starts going, or an attack is happening or is imminent. Instead of me, hold on 1 second, bad guy, 911, give me a second. Hey, I'm being mugged by this person. that's in the pocket, and I just, whatever my pre-recorded safe word is, cherry pie, and it starts recording everything that's going on, and it automatically calls 911 and gives them access to your microphone. So they're hearing everything that's going on. It sends this little ping out to them, and it lets them know something is going on. Send a police unit out right now. So a lot of these types of apps are voice activated. Another one that I've heard about, I tried looking it up and I couldn't find it right away, but there's another one where if you have your phone out, and a lot of us, you kind of have your phone out. Oh, look this way. And we're kind of texting in between and stuff like that. There's some apps that are button activated. So you just touch the little start button and it will kind of do the same thing. It will ping 911. Some of them will call for police, fire, and ambulance because it may not know exactly what you need. So it just does all three. So there's button activation, there's voice activation where you can kind of pre-record a safe word, cherry pie, Nike shoe, grandfather clock, whatever word you want to choose. And when your phone hears that, it will automatically call and, hey, something's going on. They can send people to come help you at your location, and it will kind of follow the GPS built into your phone. So those can be really helpful things if something happens. And while someone's attacking me and punching me in the head, I don't have time to do all this. Or maybe scream for a neighbor, but I might be able to squeak out a couple words and get that cell phone activated automatically. Next thing, when showing rural properties, know if you have cell phone service ahead of time. And I know now, because everything is so interconnected, that may not be as big of an issue as it was even just a few years ago. Cell phone towers are going up everywhere, and the networks keep getting stronger and stronger, faster and faster. So maybe this isn't the problem that it was several years ago, but other places that can, and situations that can affect cell service are, if this is a rural property, is there a basement? Are you going down below where there's like concrete wall basement foundation and you're down in there? That could affect your cell service. If you're showing condos, and I know there's not a whole lot of that kind of stuff in our area, but if you're going in elevator, there sometimes you in the elevator and you can't call or send text or whatever. So know ahead of time if you're going to have service or not, because all of those safety tips and safe words and calling your coworker and all that stuff doesn't mean anything if you have no service. So know ahead of time if you're going to the rural properties. Another little thing with rural properties is if you're able to have an assistant, a coworker, or a relative go with you if possible. Again, I know people are busy and you're two realtors in the same office. You may not want to just tag team and go two people to every place. You can divide and conquer better, obviously, going by yourself. But if this is especially a rural property, if you're showing something halfway between here and Springville and you're driving up Balch Park Road and there's no houses for 20 miles and you're up in the foothills, that could be an issue. So if you're able, is someone asking a question? Okay, I heard someone talking, so I didn't want to keep going if someone wanted to interject. So if you're able, assistant, coworker, relative, by relative, within reason, if I'm going to bring my 3-year-old son and he can kind of, see, talking about like if you have a big old teenage son, husband, your sister's visiting from out of town, she might love to ride along with you. She doesn't have to stand there during the business transaction part, but just having a second person there, if the client is not a client, as he says or she says, and they're wanting something more from you, that second pair of eyes and fists might go a long way in changing their mind. Next thing, be ready. And I say this a lot when I teach classes, and I don't think this one can be overstated. Be ready. I got to know what's going on around me. The number one reason now that people have no clue what's going on around them is this thing, this little computer that everyone has, and you're in the middle of a meeting and tag, 1 second. And we all get on our phone and we kind of start doing this, or maybe we're engaged, but we're and text and call and email. Hold on, let me pull up that file for you real quick, and I'll show you on my phone. Hold on one second. Yeah, go ahead, walk around, look at the thing while I find this. And we're just kind of glued to this thing. Me too, because of 90% of my business is done through this until people actually walk in the door to start class. This is everything for me. I call, text, email, Facebook. Our karate school has its own app that people interact with, so I'm always communicating with people and answering questions. But if we're with someone, especially a stranger, we got to know what's going on around us. And this is like the number one thing. Keep the head down. Now I can't see anything that's happening around me. Other little side note with this. I need to look up the statistic because I know it's changed over the years, but when the smartphone, several years ago, when it was kind of like, okay, if you don't have a smartphone, you're the weirdo. And at the time I was the weirdo. I got this recently, and but excuse me, there was a time where some people had the smartphone and everyone else had the old flip phone, and hospital visits for breaks, cuts, bruises, banged heads, those kind of small emergency room visits shot through the roof because of this thing. People walking across the street and they don't see the curb and they fall and they crack their head, or they're like this, and people, and still to this day, literally walk out in traffic and get hit by cars. Oh, I thought the crosswalk told me to walk. They have no idea because they weren't looking. They were Facebooking on this or texting someone back or whatever. So this thing is very handy, but man, it can get us in a lot of trouble with just not knowing what's going on. I'm playing my music and you got your AirPods in and texting someone back. I can't hear car horns honking at me because I walked out into the street, or I can't hear someone yelling for help as good as I should have, or whatever. So know what's going on around you. I don't mean to like harp on the cell phone. This could be anything. If I'm especially in an empty house by myself with someone else, whether I'm a male or a female, whether the client is a male or a female, or if they appear to be a nice, happy married couple, you don't know them as good as you would like to. So you've got to know what's going on around us at all times. That's why, if you're able, put this thing in the pocket and leave it alone. If you need to pull up some information for your client, hold on 1 second. Let me, why don't you, take a look over there at the living room again and back up. Now I'm near the wall. Now I can text and I can pull up that document to show them or whatever, and they're walking around out here, so I can still see them. I'm not going to turn, I'll be with you in just a second. And then go on to the phone because now you can't see, you can't hear as good if they're going to attack from behind or grab or attempt to lock doors or whatever. I can't see any of that stuff going on. So try as best as you can to keep people in front of you instead of walking behind you, especially, again, if this is someone that you don't know. If this is a client that you've dealt with before and you know them, or maybe you've done some buying and selling of houses and properties with them in the past, so you kind of have a working relationship, this is a little bit different. But a lot of these safety things should still be kept in place because working relationship, client relationship is not the same as, well, this is my Aunt Susie visiting from Cleveland. It's much different. So we still don't know people's intentions. And a lot of attacks a lot of muggings, robberies, sexual assaults happen from people that we already know. We're way more likely to be attacked by someone that we know than by someone we don't know. So be mindful of those things. Excuse me. Does anyone have any questions before, I know usually right now I'd say, okay, everyone come on out here on the mats and let's do some drills. And I get out those big punching bags there and others that are off to the side, and we'd hit stuff. And that's always the fun part of the thing. But before we do any modified versions of that, does anyone have any questions or comments or whatever about some of the things that we covered? Let me click on there. I'm going to put it so I can kind of see the whole list of everyone. I know your microphones are muted, but people like do the little hand raise icon or whatever. Well, it doesn't look like we have any questions. So what we're going to do, if it's okay with our hosts, and if you guys have a little bit of room to get up and move around, you don't need a whole lot. We're not going to run back and forth and do wind sprints, I promise. But if you're able to, stand up real quick. Stand up a little. Can everyone still hear me? Give me, the people that have your cameras on, give me a thumbs up if you can still hear me. Okay, good. Now, some things to be aware of. The center line, eyes, nose, throat, solar plexus, groin, this long rectangle right here. That's where all the good targets are. So I need to be able to cover that up really good. And this is nothing difficult. From here, I want you guys just take one leg and step it forward a little bit. It's like from the side, I'm here, hands are up. So I kind of make like a little window like this. My shoulders are hunched forward slightly. We don't want this and we don't want this. We want somewhere in the middle like that. So I kind of make this little window. Now, a couple of things that this little window does. One, if someone grabs me, attacks me, and I step back real quick and put my hands up, just doing this might let them know this tiny little 4-foot lady may not be the easy target I was hoping she would be. Or this 6'6" guy who is just playing on texting clients on his phone, maybe he's more aware than I thought he was. So just this can intimidate some people. Again, we're trying to stack the deck in our favor. This is not going to make everyone leave. Just like looking up from the phone will not make all the bad guys disappear. But if we do some of these stack up layers of defense around us, now our odds are way better. Hands up. From here, the other thing that this does, this little window, is it funnels all of their attacks here. If I put my hands down, you can attack me anywhere you want. You can punch here, you can hit here, you can kick down low, you can take this and hit. It doesn't matter. I have no defense right now. Here, that is helping to funnel all of their attacks into this little rectangle in front of me. If they're going to do punching like this or grabbing from the side, that's easy to cover. Peripheral vision will pick that up coming a mile away. Hits straight down the center line are tougher for your peripheral vision to pick up. So these are faster and they're harder to gauge distance straight on attacks. So we want to make that straight on attack as easy as possible for us to defend. So that's why we make this little funnel like that. Now from here, reach your hand out like that with your palm. And just kind of see, okay, how far can I reach? I know this is kind of a simple, silly thing, but most people have no idea how long their arm is. So they just go, oh, well, if he comes close, I'll hit him. What does that mean? How close are they? If they're here, that's too close, that's too late. So we have to kind of imagine this little bubble. What can I realistically reach in this bubble without me moving too much? So from here, just kind of reach and reach, reach and reach. Keep going, watch from the side. There's my window, When I reach with this one, where does this hand go? This hand stays up. 1, 2. Now I hit with the other hand. Look where this one is. So I always have that little window, that little rectangle. So make sure you don't pull your hand back like this. Don't pull it back and put it down here. So all your hits are coming from the shoulder like that. Now this could be a palm strike, palm heel strike. So I'm going to hit with this. Other strikes that you can do, fingers. Spread your fingers out like this. Excuse the broken finger, it doesn't extend like it used to. So from here, I kind of put my fingers out and spread them a little bit. We're not going to do the Three Stooges. We're not going to do that. We're going to put all 5 fingers out because people are really good at defending their face. If you like science like me, experiment on your kids. Don't tell anybody. Take a little ball or a little squishy thing and don't tell them, and then just kind of lob that thing at their face. If they're facing you, they'll probably do this. And they may get hit, but they're going to move. So if I do this, that is a very tiny, very specific target. Or one finger. Very small, very specific target. But if I do this, that's a larger general target. If I miss, you're still getting palm to the forehead or to the face, to the nose. If they move their head a little bit, you can still get thumb. If they move their head this way, you can still get the pinky. So if they move their head, I still have access to those eyes because I'm hitting with a larger weapon. It's like if you go spear fishing and you sharpen up one stick and you do this, you have to be very fast and very accurate. If you've ever gone spear fishing, the spear looks like this. It has 3, 5 or more prongs on it that spread out when it hits the water. Now you're more likely to hit the fish. Same idea here. So everyone try this. Hands up. Just kind of reach out with your fingertips. Reach, reach, reach. And keep the other hand close to your face. Like that. Instead of this. Because now I'm open. If I practice like this 10,000 times, guess what I'm going to do under pressure? I'm going to perform how I practice. So if you practice this way, now I'm going to perform. I'm more likely to perform this way. Now, next thing. So we have some long-range weapons. That's my long range. Fingers, palm. Other long-range things, the legs. You can swing the leg and kick to the groin, whether it's a male attacker or a female attacker. Try this, don't kick your computer. Back leg, just swing and kick. Swing and kick, and keep the hands here. A lot of times people will go kick, kick, keep the hands there. Keep that little hunch position forward slightly. Don't lean out of the way. Go ahead, keep going, keep going. This is how I teach some of my Zoom classes. I'll kind of watch. And I know not everyone is trying this out right now, and that's okay. But the people that are, I'm watching. Good. That's not bad. Now, so we have 3 long-range weapons already built in. We can reach the eye, any point on the face, and you can reach the lower body. Other things you can do with your legs. Let me tilt it down a little bit. Kick, 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 kick. Move all around the floor like that. Now, don't get on the floor right now. I see a lot of people are dressed really nice, so don't jump down and tear your nice shirt or whatever. If you're on the floor, what you want to avoid is this. Don't lay on your back and do the bicycle thing. You want mobility. You want to be able to move. So from here, I just take my forearm and lay it down, and I have one leg and one hand. Now, if you're the attacker, I'm facing you here. If they move, I follow. If they move, I follow. So I'm spinning all around. One of the kids the other day in class said, oh, like the Ninja Turtles. Sure, like the Ninja Turtles spinning around. But we're not going to do this on our back. When you're flat on your back, Slow, 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 and we need speed and mobility. If we're on the ground, first thing you should do is get up as quick as you can and exit. If you can't get up, if they're on top of you, or doing this thing, or this thing, I get asked about this a lot. I've got 2 calls last week from martial arts instructors asking about this, or this, or holding the knife up to the neck, that type of stuff. We're not going to cover any of this today, but there are things that you can do. If there's a weapon involved, get out. Anything you can to get out. Well, what if I run and he cuts me in the back? Keep running. Ow! Run. You can ow and go to the hospital later. If they hit you or they're trying to hit you like this and you're down, long range, your leg is longer than them. If they get their face close, boom, kick and push, like that. You can push to their knees. You can hit here. If they're standing over you like this, punching or trying to grab or whatever, and you push and flatten that knee out, or push and flatten their knee out this way, push it that way, break that stance down. So you can use those long-range weapons, standing, kneeling, sitting, laying down. Excuse me. Next thing. So we got some long range that you can use in some different situations. Excuse me. Medium range. Everyone feel here. Feel that elbow. Feel this thing. The kneecap, the patella, feel that. These things are hard. They go really good paired with grabbing. So if we're in close and I grab a hold of this guy, doesn't matter if I grab him here, grab there. You can grab a hold of the skin. Oh, now there's a handle right there. There's a handle right there. Handle, see all that skin. Just grab a hold of something, doesn't matter what, and hit. And put the whole body into it. Don't do this. I'm gonna twist, boom. And just think tennis. When you throw the ball up, you don't do this. You reach and turn and pull that racket all the way through the target. Elbow strike is the same way. We don't want to bounce off. If this person has grabbed me, I need to make sure they don't grab me again. If I do this and I smash them in the side of the head, this bone can potentially open up a cut. And if you guys have ever seen MMA, there a lot of times if someone gets a big elbow in the head, a lot of times even if he's still fighting, they're just going to stop the match because there's blood everywhere. This thing can open up a cut just as bad as this. So we want to hit with that elbow and twist like this. So everyone give this a try. 1 foot forward, doesn't matter which one. Hands up, make your little window. Now reach and grab. Grab there. And for personal training, this is also my target. So I reach and grab, now pull and push. So I'm going to meet in the middle. So if my grab is here and my elbow is here, I make contact in the center. And when I do that, torque, twist the body, twist, twist, twist. Other angles that you can use this elbow, vertical elbow. Vertical comes up. If we're in close, grabbing, I can just hit straight up and we're aiming here. If they're looking down, good, flatten that nose out. They don't need it. Hit this way. You can hit downward with the tip of the elbow this way. So we're grabbing, we're wrestling around, and I come down and hit on top of the head, the top of the head, the back of the neck. If they're in like a tackle, like they're going to shoot and grab, which is a common takedown, even if people don't know how to fight. They know if I'm down low, grab the legs and you can throw the other person on the ground. If you don't know what I mean, watch 3-year-olds fight. 3-year-olds know how to get it done. They grab the hair, they do a choke, they throw the other kid on the floor and they start punching him in the face. Watch 3-year-olds or 4-year-olds fight over toys. That's self-defense 101. What's an untrained person going to do? They're going to try to choke you even if they don't know how to do a proper choke. They know grab a hold of the neck and now you can get the other person to do what you want. Hit them, even if they don't maybe know how to box. They know if I punch you in the face, you're going to stop fighting back eventually. If they start stomping, they know eventually you're going to stop fighting back. So this does not take a whole lot of skill, but we got to know what the other person is going to do, hopefully, before they do it. These are common things. So if they're in close and they're going to grab, lift, and throw to the ground, I just take this and drive it down into the back of the head, the neck, the shoulder, the upper rib cage. So you can use this elbow. This is like your Swiss Army knife. You can hit this way, this way. You can go downward diagonal, upward diagonal. You can hit down with the tip of the elbow. You can hit with the forearm. The little sister strike of that is hammer fist. Reach out and hit this way. And we're trying to hit temples, or what I tell the kid students, here, make a triangle. Good, hit anything inside the triangle. Doesn't matter if it's a good hit or not. If you hit this, it's gonna hurt. If you hit this, it's gonna hurt. If you hit here, they might lose a tooth, that's gonna hurt. My job in defending myself is to make the other person's job as miserable as I possibly can in as short amount of time as possible. So if someone grabs me or grabs you, oh, lesson time, I want to tear something off. I want to bite a chunk of something. Spit it out and go bite another chunk off. And you keep going. And now with that, with all the nasty self-defense stuff and bloody stuff, the question I get the most right about that point is people, oh, well, I don't want to hurt him that bad. I just want to make him stop. How else are we going to make this guy stop or gal stop? They pull out a gun, they pull out a knife. They're grabbing you in a building that's been vacant for months, and it's 9 o'clock at night because that's the only time they can meet. Oh, please, mister, I would appreciate if you don't hit me so hard. I'd like to get home. Oh, you know what, ma'am? You're totally right. High five. Let me walk. They're not going to do that. They're going to keep going until you make them stop. If you have that little app on your phone, cherry pie, and they start doing this, how long is it going to take till the police actually get there? Even if you're here, like I'm 2 blocks from downtown Exeter right now. How long would it take them to, this is literally 3 blocks from the Exeter police station, but they may be out on a call somewhere. They might be out in Woodlake assisting with something. They may be out doing traffic, assisting with the fires 30 miles that way. So when I call 911, it's going to go to the sheriff, and they're going to call out the closest unit, which might be Woodlake. It might be 15 minutes before someone gets here. That's too late. So we've got to be prepared to fight and be nasty for a couple seconds. Now you can go back and be really nice. When this guy's on the ground or you run out or whatever, now go back to be a nice, calm, sweet person and go and tuck your kids in and all that. Wipe all this fool's blood off of you, take a shower, and now you can be nice later. But for right now, oh man, you got to be mean. You got to be gross. You have to be nasty for a few seconds. Then you can be nice again. Now, last little thing that I want to go over the physical stuff. And usually if we were here in person, we'd be partnering up, practicing maybe a couple different chokes and maneuvers and stuff like that. But we can't really do much of that through Zoom if you don't have any experience. The next little thing, everyone come back to your position here. One of the things I get asked the most is hair grab. What if he grabs my hair and is pulling? And guys get their hair grabbed a lot too in fights or self-defense. Or if it's not their hair, they get their clothes grabbed. So what do you do if you're grabbed by the hair, which is one of the most common women's kind of self-defense thing that I get asked all the time? Hair grab, if they grab you, if you're in front of me and you grab a hold of my hair, most people, if you go YouTube, defense against hair grab, you'll see a lot of this kind of stuff. Someone will just grab the hair and stand there. And then the little lady will, you know, whoa, 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 whoa. And the guy will flip over and land on the ground. what's really going to happen? They're going to grab and they're going to pull, or they're going to push and try to direct you somewhere. They're not going to grab and then wait. They're going to grab and they're either going to pull towards themselves this way and try to get you somewhere else, or they're going to grab and try to push you and get you to go over there so that they continue whatever type of attack they're intending. Go with the hair pull. So if they're grabbing like this and they're pulling towards you, go to them. So if you're behind me, you grab instead of me going, ah, ah, and doing this and kind of, you know, someone said, oh, well, I heard there's a nerve, there's a pressure point. You turn around, whack them on. Wonderful. They're behind you, pulling your head down towards the floor like this. Turn around and hit the pressure point. It's not going to work. Pressure points work on about 60% of people anyway, so the other 40, and you have to hit it perfect. And not everyone has the dumb pressure point, so forget all that nonsense. When they grab and they pull your hair, turn around and look right at them. Imagine you grab my hair, you grab that, and I turn around and I'm in your face. They're grabbing and pulling. Now all of a sudden this crazy savage lady turns around, is in your face, and you start biting this and you start biting this, or you take your head and smash it right into the middle of their face. Are they going to continue grabbing your hair? I don't know. I've been headbutted before. It hurts a whole bunch and you forget everything that you're doing before because this is bleeding or your teeth hurt or whatever. So you can turn, face right at them and hit them hard. Or turn and bring that elbow around. Turn, stick this in their face. So their arm is still up on your head. The longer they hold on to that, the less they can defend with two hands. If they're still holding on to this, they can only hit you with one hand instead of two. I'd rather get hit once than twice. Getting hit hurts. If they grab, turn, face right at them, grab a hold of them, start biting something, get in close, because the whole point of this hair grab and pull is to get you to go somewhere else. Again, it's not a static where they just grab and then wait for you like on YouTube. They're going to grab and pull, or they're going to grab and push and try to redirect you somewhere else, or just bring you straight to the ground. Those are kind of the three common ones with hair grab. Go towards them, get in there close, hit, 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 bite, 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 scream, be nasty, stick a finger in the eye socket as deep as you can, scratch their brain a little bit, take that, and now go back to being a nice person or whatever you need to do. Get out of that place quick. So yeah, the hair grab. That one is this, and these are all things that you can practice with somebody. You don't need to take like a really, I mean, it's good to get training. Get training if you can, always. Sitting down and watching me roll around the floor and hit myself in the head, it's entertaining, but you're not really going to learn it until you do it. The more you do it, the better you learn it. If you teach it to someone else, you're going to learn it more. They partner up with you, oh man, now you're going to learn so much more. So share some of this stuff with someone else. When you, hey honey, come over here. I want to try something out. Grab my hair. Make sure they're not going to tear out a chunk of your hair. You don't want a bald spot like me. Don't do that. But have them grab a hold of your hair and try this. See if you can turn around and face them close enough to touch them. More than likely, when they grab you, you're going to turn and you'll be about this close to their face by the time you turn and face them. Now you can grab, you can just touch them with your elbow. Make sure that you can access those targets when you turn around. Another common one, people ask, well, what if they grab you by the wrist? So imagine, here, ready? Just reach out, grab my wrist. Go ahead, grab my wrist. I don't care if you grab my wrist, I'm going to stick my finger in your eye. This causes me no pain. Finger in the eye. What if they grab you by the hair and they do this and they're going to try to break your arm? Finger in the eye. They'll let you go before the break happens. Fingers in the eye. What if they grab you from the side and they're going to tackle you? Oh, good, their head is right here. Finger in the eye. There you go. So I'm simplifying things as much as I can because we can't do really any interaction. Number 1, finger in the eye. Number 2, remember we have the throat. You can hit here, you can hit here, you can spear hand and hit down like this. Mid-range, so we're a little closer now. We've got elbows, all different variety of angles of elbow strikes. If they're down here, strike down. If they're in front of you, hit straight in front. When you do this, what's your other hand doing? Someone show me. Uh-oh, they need coffee. Oh, good. Susan Britter. She put her hand up like this. So when I hit with this one, that other hand is up. Good, don't mess with Susan. If I finger in the eye, the other hand is up here. If I want to switch and go to this one, then this hand comes back. If they get in closer and I switch to elbow, the other one is up. So I always have this little turtle shell as tight as I can make it. Other mid-range things, knee strikes. What if you're on the ground? Long range weapon, long range. We don't have time for grappling and jujitsu. Sidekick, keep them away. Here, if they move around this way, don't do that, just switch. If they move around over here, switch legs. That's going to be a whole lot faster than this thing. So just spin around. Keep the foot between you and them. So if they move in close, you can push them away with the foot. Other things that we talked about, hair grab, hair pull, go with it. If they're grabbing and pulling you, good, they're just assisting you. You wanted to get in there close anyways. Finger in the eye, elbow, headbutt, bite something, spit out whatever you bit, and then go bite some more. Awesome.
I have a question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
I have never done this in my life other than, you know, when you're a little kid and you accidentally conk heads with someone,
Yeah.
and boy, does it hurt, right? It's been a long time. But if you were to headbutt someone, what part of your own head do you use to headbutt? Right here?
The crown, the hairline. Now, imagine if me and you are right here close, and I grab and we're grappling, we're fighting, we're in close. If we're here, your head is here, and we're in close like this, and I grab a hold of your head or neck or whatever, all I need to do a headbutt, the headbutt is not what people, it's not like this. I'm pretty much just going to tuck my chin, and I'm going to pull you onto my head. So if I grab, I just tuck my chin. Now I pull down. Now your face, remember that triangle? Your face is now hitting the round part of my skull. Sensitive bone, hard as a rock bone. Now, yes, clunking your head like, you know, kids running and they both kind of clip each other on the forehead or the side or the back, you hit the floor, those hurt a lot. But if we're in close and I grab, tuck the chin and pull like that, now their face is coming down here. And this is going to win over this any day. But yeah, good question. So with headbutting, the wind up, don't do the wind up because look at all these targets I have. I do this, I can't see. They have all these targets. They push my head backwards and now I fall over. So we stay here, boom, and there's the headbutt. Good question though. Jan, go ahead and unmute your mic if you can.
Okay, so I'm not sure if you said this, but I have been attacked before, and I was attacked from behind. So he had me in a choke hold with his elbow,
Okay.
you know, like with this, and my hands just immediately, you know, just went to, you know, like this. But what was I supposed to do? I got out of it, by the way, but obviously, but it was scary for sure.
Well,
What do you do besides stomp on their foot, stuff like that? What would you do?
So with any kind of a choke, especially with what's called a blood choke or a circulation choke, because here that hurts, but you can go for longer than you think without air. What we're concerned about is the carotid artery. So if everyone feels here, you'll feel that pulse. That's the carotid artery. If that thing gets closed off by what's called a rear naked choke. So here's your neck, and they come around like this. So their bicep is here, their forearm is here. And just by flexing and squeezing the muscle, that closes off the carotid artery. You have 4 to 8 seconds before you pass out. If that choke is tight, now if you've got wiggle room like this, it's obviously going to take longer or not at all. But if that thing is tight, some things to be aware of. It'll sound like snoring. You'll make noises like that before the pass out. Usually, not all the time. If you get that choke nice and tight, you'll breathe like that, like real rattly, for 4 to 8 seconds and lights out. Anything longer than that, if the choke goes on after the pass out and they keep choking, now you have potential for brain damage and potentially death. So there's some information about a choke before we address the actual choke itself. This, you've got 4 to 8 seconds. So if they're behind you and you feel that coming around, first thing is try, if you're able, to get something in between that choke. So if I get this in there and that choke is around, they're not pressing directly here. They're squeezing, and it's going to hurt my jaw like crazy. It's going to hurt, but you're not going to pass out. Or maybe you do pass out, but it's not going to be 4 seconds. Now you have more time to fight and roll around and scream and yell and make a big fuss while you have that hand in here. 2 hands is good. 1 hand is better than none. Other thing, turtling. Make that neck disappear. Bring your chin down as low as you can and tighten that shoulder up. Now, their arm is going to have a harder time fitting in that groove right here. So there's a couple preemptive things before that choke is fully applied. Once that choke is in there hardcore, it's tough to get out. If they're doing a full rear naked choke, like you would see in MMA or jiu-jitsu, so they bring one arm around, they grab the bicep, and this one goes on the back of the head. So they're actually pushing your head forward as they're tightening up here. So you're completely hunched forward. That is tough to get out of. Most people, they do this and they grab here. So you have an exit door here. So what you did by grabbing two here, you're on the right track. To make it more effective, you want 2 here instead of 1 here, 1 here, because this is very strong and this is very strong. His right forearm here is going to be stronger, probably, not guaranteed, but it may be stronger than your left arm pulling down. But if I get 2 on 1, that way, now I can pull that down and open up a little space. When you're doing this from here, let's say I'm facing you and he comes around and chokes. So his arm is like this. So I need to get both my hands here as high as I can. If I grab here, it's going to be tough. If I get up here, it's going to be tough, but it's not going to be as difficult as here. So if I can get up higher, that's better. Now, instead of just going and pulling down, which is going to be very tough to do, watch the legs. Watch back farther. Here, there. Big stance, like a sumo wrestler. Don't do this and lean over, because now I might fall on my head. So I go here, and see my body is still in a good position. So I'm not leaning forward, I'm here. I squat down. When you drop all of a sudden now, I weigh 210, 211, something like that. If this guy's strong and I go, and nothing happens, and then I go, and I drop 210 pounds on his forearm, that will open up a space. Even if it's not a big space, but it's enough for me to get my hooks in there deeper. And now I can start opening up a larger space and come out. So there's what I tell my students, man, you could Google 10,000 ways to get out of a rear naked choke. A lot of them are good. A lot of them are nonsense. The only way to figure out which ones are more effective than others is to practice them. This is one of the basic ways that I teach to get out of the standing choke. There's all kinds of other things that we could do. And if anyone wants to contact me after, we can set up any kind of training or private or whatever you guys want. And we can go over some very specific detailed things. But yeah, choke, thing number one, if they're behind you, that's bad. If we can, make sure you kind of know who's going around. Surprise attacks happen. I've been surprised attacked and I thought I was gonna die. I was 21 managing a restaurant and I got jumped by 5 people. Did not see it coming. I'm still here though. They got a few bumps and dents on my head and I got a few bumps and dents on them, but I'm here. So you can't see every single thing coming. But I mean, in the kind of realtor context, hopefully you can stack the deck in your favor and know where they are, let them lead from the front, things like that. So if they're going to attack, at least you can potentially see it coming. Yeah, good question. Any other questions real fast? I can hang out and do questions all day, but I don't know what your guys' timeline is like. So I don't want to ramble too much because sometimes I've had literally hours of questions after teaching seminars. Well, what if they do this? What if this? And those are good, but I want to be mindful of your time. Any other questions? Let me put it here. No raising hands. Awesome. Excuse all my coughing. I don't have COVID. I have sheep. I have sheep and I was out doing stuff with their hay and it's all in my lungs. Awesome. Well, if there's no more questions, I'll let you guys get going. If anyone has questions, oh, I meant to ask you, but I didn't want to ask in front of the group or whatever. My name is David Unger. I own Unger's Karate Academy. We're all over Facebook, website. We're here in downtown Exeter. So if you guys have any questions, follow-up stuff that we weren't able to cover, just let me know. I'd be happy to help you any way I can.
Hey, Maggie.
Yes.
I have a question. So David, as far as offering anything, I know we've done this in the past, but in regards to having like a class that maybe we would feel comfortable with as a group of realtors, is that something that anybody here on the Zoom today would want to get together? And then that way he can focus more specifically on what our needs are as realtors and do a class in person. Are you able to do that at this point, David? Okay.
Oh, yes. Yes. Yeah. And I've literally done several hundred seminars, classes, programs, whatever you want to call it, of all different formats and sizes. I've done one for a 600-person middle school up to a convalescent home, and everything in between. So we can format this any way you guys need. If there's some specific scenarios that you guys want kind of dealt with, or I can kind of lay out, here's some good information to know. So yeah, we can do that any way you guys like.
David, can you put your information on the chat box, like your email and your phone number, if
Yes.
someone wants to reach out?
Yes, I will. I'll put it up there now.
Does anyone else have any questions? No.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Oh.
you, David. We really, really appreciate you doing this for us. I know
Oh,
it's
no
a little
problem.
bit different in the way we've had it in the past, but still great information, and a lot of the stuff I had already forgotten, so it was a good refresher.
Well, good. I'm glad I could help everybody out. And again, there's all of the stuff I showed you there. There's multiple ways to do anything that I showed you. The reason I kind of chose a certain set of things is because one kind of flows pretty well right into the next. Instead of showing a whole bunch of fragmented, well, here's all these techniques for all these different things. What are 3 or 4 things that we can apply like a Swiss Army knife to multiple situations? Now you don't have to walk around with quite as big of a dictionary in your head, and it's a little easier skill set to maintain. So I hope this was helpful for everybody. And yeah, thanks for having me. This was fun.
Well, and Maggie, if you get a list of people who want to get together, I'd be happy to host that class with David. If you get a list of groups of people who want to get together for maybe a class or two, I'd be happy to host that. So let me know if you get contact or anybody who wants to do that. And then we can check on David's schedule and see what that looks like for everybody.
Yeah,
That's perfect.
and on classes like that, in person, a lot of times my wife Kara will come and help, and she's done a lot of these things with me. She can practice. She can pretty much just run it herself. But she's there kind of as a second pair of eyes, and she partners up with people, and she can kind of get in there. And I've had sometimes women are like, I want to learn this, but I don't want you grabbing me. Can Kara come be the attacker? So Kara she helps fill in gaps, and she's a good training partner, and she hits like a semi truck, and it's very impressive to like, oh good, no one wants to see me punch. They all want to see Kara beat me up. So.
Perfect. Okay, so if you guys are interested, just let us know. Either tell me or Christina or Trisha, and if she wants to host it, just let us know. Looks like Julie said that she would be interested. So
Awesome. Yeah, you guys look me up. I put up my the business name, the phone number, email. We're on Facebook, Unger's Karate Academy, so you guys can stay in contact with us any way you like.
perfect.
Thank you, David.
So much.
Thank you. I'll take off and go to the next thing. Thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you so much, David. Appreciate it.
All right. You guys have a good day.
All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and do our drawing that we usually do. Are you ready, Christina? So this is for the dinner, right? We're going to do the dinner first?
Yes, we'll do the dinner and then we'll do the 2 coffee after.
Perfect.
Okay, here we go.
Margie Rapatella.
She's still in here?
I think she's still on there.
I've seen her message on the chat, but are you still here, Margie? You can unmute.
Is she still there?
Yeah, she's here.
Okay, perfect.
I see it on my name.
I see her name.
We'll just reach out to her for her email.
Okay. Okay, Maggie, will you write that one down? I didn't.
Yes.
Thank you.
I'll say that
Okay.
again, Marcos.
Here we go for the $10 Starbucks. Teddy Albers.
Teddy Albers.
Is he still in here?
I'm trying to open my screen. It's not.
I'm not seeing him.
No, it looks like he logged off.
Here we go. Marcos, I see your camera on.
Yay, Marcos. So Marcos.
So it will be emailed to you, okay, Marcos? It'll probably be Tuesday because Teresa won't be back until then. So look for that in your email, okay? And thank you for participating in our boot camp.
Thanks a lot.
All right, one more. Oh, look at Trisha.
Trisha, yay.
It's because of you he was here.
It just makes sense.
Yes.
You're muted. Trisha.
Hey, I'm on the committee. Go ahead and pick somebody else's name. Thank
We
you.
put everybody, Trisha, except for me, Janet, and Maggie. So. it's
Well,
up
I guess I'll pass it along. Thank you.
to- Okay, here we go.
I'm on the committee too.
Barbara, you're our winner.
Yay.
You're muted, Barbara. Let's see. Oh,
There you go.
there you go.
Thank you very much. What a surprise.
Thank you, Barbara, for participating in our boot camp.
Thank you, guys.
And thank you, everyone.
Thanks everyone for your time. I know this was a little bit
Yes.
longer than usual, but it was great information. So I appreciate everyone staying this long. Thank you.
Absolutely.
It was
Really
great.
worth it.
Thank you. Very
Thank you,
worthwhile.
guys.
Thank
Sorry.
you.
Job, Maggie.
Hi, thanks for putting it on.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome,
Thank you,
guys.
Tricia, for setting this up
Thanks,
together.
guys. Yeah, let me know.
You're
And seriously,
welcome.
I think it's a great opportunity if we can get all of us, together, whoever wants to do that, because it is such, when you're in person and when he's really giving you the in-person scenarios, I mean, it's kind of a rush because you're like, okay, you're in that moment right then. And so how you react, is completely different. So I think it's a great opportunity if people are wanting to get together and do that, to kind of just show those scenarios that he can kind of help us with in person.
Yeah, I agree.
Perfect.
Janet, if you take the class, I want to be an attacker.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, Joseph, you're
Yes, you
asking
do.
right now, buddy.
I'll make you a soprano.
Funny.
Okay, mute him.
Awesome. Guys.